Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm going over my supercar garage in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now before we get into this, I just want to say this isn't to flex, this isn't I've had a lot of people asking me to show off some of my garages in GTA Online. I figured now is a pretty good time to do so. I usually do them before a big update comes out. We're going to be doing this today. These are some of my supercars. I have other ones, you know, variously spread around in different garages, but this is where the bulk of my supercars are. I've got 20 to show you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with the first one right now. So let's get into it. The first car in my garage is the DUGG Champion. This was added with the contract DLC. It has the full armor on it. It also has the front-mounted machine guns. It's got the Imani Tech missile jammer upgrade as well as the proximity oil slick mine dropper. It's done in my crew color, which is a super bright red, and the rims on it are actually midnight purple. And I believe the secondary color on the car also might be midnight purple, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty good looking car. I really do like the DUGG Champion. I think it's one of the better vehicles we got from the contract DLC in Grand Theft Auto Online, so that is pretty cool. Anyways, on to the next car. This is of course the Grotti Cheetah, or maybe it's not, of course, to some of you guys. If you guys are newer players to GTA Online, you may have never seen a Grotti Cheetah in the game, with the exception of doing like import export or something like that. The Grotti Cheetah, it's got actually some good customization options. And I've got mine done in a race yellow. I've got this this cool looking extra spoiler on the back of it. I really like the look of this car, especially with the carbon and the yellow. I think it looks really, really aggressive and really, really cool. Not everybody's a super big fan of the Grotti Cheetah. I think it's a great looking car, but I mean, you know, to each their own. I think the headlights definitely could be shaped better, and the, well, carbon thing could be shaped differently, or at least fully go around the car. But for a car that was released in 2013, I don't think it's that bad. So there you have it. That's it for the Grotti Cheetah. That is actually a pretty cheap car. I will say one more thing about it. It only goes for 650k. So if you guys have 650k and you want a cool supercar, the Cheetah is my recommendation to you. Next up, of course, we have the Pegassi Infernus. Now this goes for 440,000, and it's another OG 2013 car. It even dates back to previous Grand Theft Auto games as well. I have this done in a matte gray, and I've got the concave mega mesh rims on it. Those are my favorite rims. You guys will probably see them a few more times in this garage tour. Infernus, it's a pretty awesome car. It's actually rear wheel drive. A lot of people think that this thing's all wheel drive, myself included, but it is in fact rear wheel drive only, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of a cool fact about it. It doesn't have like any customization that you can do to it, really. I think you can change the exhaust and the spoiler, and that's it. So not the most customization ever, but I do like the car, so there you have it. On to the next one, we have another OG 2013 car. This is, of course, the Overflawed Entity XF. It's a fantastic car. It used to be the fastest car in Grand Theft Auto Online when it came to racing, when it came to top speed. Anything you wanted to do, the Entity XF was the fastest car in the game by a long shot. Back when the game first came out on the Xbox 360. The Entity actually does have a few customization options, which is kind of nice. It's kind of a change up from some of the other cars that it was released with. So it's pretty cool. It still stands up today as a pretty, you know, good supercar. It's not, you know, great. You're definitely not going to win races with it, but it's a pretty cool car. It handles really nicely. It accelerates well. It's pretty decent, and I think it looks really great too. So that's it for the Entity XF. Now it's time to move on to the most modern supercar we have in Grand Theft Auto Online, and this is of course the Pegassi Torero XO. Now the Pegassi Torero XO, it was added with the Criminal Enterprises DLC into Grand Theft Auto Online that just came out a few months ago, and it is one of the faster supercars in the game now. I believe it's just within the top 10 or just outside of the top 10 maybe. Really, really quick car, lots of customization. This thing has so much you can do to it actually. In addition to the customization that it has these new forged carbon pieces that you can put on it, like you guys can see on the wing right here. I think they look really good. I think it looks really good. I've got my stock wheels on it painted black. That's kind of a glitch that you can do just to, you know, get stock wheels in a different color. So I did that. I think the Torero is an awesome car. I really like how it looks. I really like how it drives. It's super quick. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. And last but not least, on this floor, we have the Banshee 900R. This becomes a supercar when you upgrade it into the 900R. Obviously, the regular Banshee is only a sports car. This gives it the Benny's upgrade. It gives it the wide body kit, and it gives it a lot more customization that you can do to it. So It's a really cool car. It looks super clean. I've got mine done in a sea green, I believe it is, with the sort of steel colored rims. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but anyway, I think it looks really good. Definitely check out the 900R if you like customizing cars. This one is it's pretty good to customize. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next floor of the garage. I got some more heaters up here to show you guys, so let's get into it. Starting off on the second floor, we have the Pegasi Osiris. This thing is based off of a Pagani Huayra in real life. It's pretty heavily based off of that. I've gone for the kind of look of the Pagani Huayra BC. It's like the racing edition of the car. It's a pretty limited edition as well. I think it looks really good in GTA. Obviously, it looks great in real life. But I did, you know, the best customization I could to try to make the car look like that. I think it looks really good. I do like the customization I did for it. It's a pretty fast car. It's a nice one to drive, that's for sure. On to the next one, we have the Pegasi Ignis. Now, this isn't the weaponized Ignis. I am on PC, so I don't have the weaponized Ignis to show you guys, but this is just the regular Ignis. It is one of the faster supercars in the game. I think it's just outside of the top 10, or maybe just within the top 10 now. It's pretty quick, lots of customization. This was added with the contract DLC. It looks absolutely fantastic. It handles really well. The acceleration's crazy, and the top speed is pretty good as well. Definitely give the Pegasi Ignis a shot if you guys are interested in this car for sure. Next up, we have the Benefactor Krieger. This is one of the faster supercars in the game. I think it's probably 5th or 6th right now as it stands when this video is coming out. It's pretty quick. It's got all-wheel drive. It's got some good customization. It's got insanely fast acceleration. The handling is really nice too. And the top speed is actually pretty above average for the supercars category. Overall, the Benefactor Krieger, it's an awesome car. Definitely one to check out. I've done mine in an olive green with the bronze wheels on it. I think this thing looks super clean. Probably one of my favorite customizations that I've done in a very long time. So definitely a pretty cool car. Moving on to the next vehicle. This is a new one to my supercars garage. This is the Grotti Vision. Now, I moved this from another garage. I've had this car for a while. It's a good looking car. It's very futuristic looking. Not a super big fan of futuristic cars, but I do think that the Vision looks really good. I got the Cheetah Carbon R's on this thing. I've got well, it's got a lot of carbon on it just in general. So you know, I put the Cheetah Carbon R's to try to match up with that. The Vision's got some good customization. It's not the best ever, but it could be a lot worse. This thing does sound really insane, so that is something that is quite cool about this car. I've got the tricolor livery on this thing as well. The Vision, it's a pretty cool car. It's kind of underrated. It's kind of underappreciated, I feel like, but it's also not exactly very fast, especially compared to a lot of the other cars we've already gone over in this garage. So not exactly super surprising why nobody really seems to love the Vision. So anyways, that's it for the Vision. On to the Pfister 811. This is based very heavily off of the Porsche 918 Spider in real life. Ever since this car came out, I have loved it. I've always owned one in GTA. I think it's a fantastic car. I've got the Cheetah Carbon R's on this thing again. As you guys can see, that is kind of a common theme with some of my cars. I've gone for the open top on this car. I actually removed the roof. That is something that's kind of cool about this car. You can just remove the roof if you want to. It's also got a spoiler option as well to help it have a little more downforce. You can color these exhausts as well. It's a pretty cool car. It's got decent customization for what it is, honestly. It could have a little more. I would like it if it had a little more, but you know, it's still pretty good. The Pfister 811 is kind of, well, it's kind of ugly. I do like the look of it, but I kind of like it from the headlights back. I feel like from this angle, the car looks really good, and then you see the front, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks pretty damn good like this, but then like that, yeah, no. So anyway, that's it for the Pfister 811. It's pretty quick. It's one of the fastest top speed vehicles in the entire game, so that is something that is kind of cool. So there you have it. Onto the Progen GP1. Progen GP1 is based heavily off of the McLaren F1 in real life. Very cool car, very futuristic car for its time. And the GP1 in GTA is actually surprisingly really awesome. I mean, it really does kind of take after the McLaren F1. This car actually has a lot of customization that you can do to it, more than I ever expected to be able to do. It's got some good some good customization. It's also a very good handling car. It handles very well. It was actually hard to get this thing to even lose grip when I was driving it. I remember doing my review on it. I'm super impressed with the Progen GP1. It's definitely a car that I would recommend to try to win if it's ever in the podium. And if you guys have a lot of money laying around, I would definitely say go ahead and maybe purchase the GP1. You probably won't be disappointed with it. I think it's a fantastic car. So that's my 2 cents on the Progen GP1. Time to move on to the last car on this floor of my garage, and that is of course the Grotti Furia. This thing was just on sale last week actually, when you guys are seeing this. So the Grotti Furia, it's an awesome car. A lot of the community, I don't know what it is, but a lot of the community don't like the Grotti Furia, and I really don't know why. I said this in my last customization. An overwhelming amount of people were like, I don't mind the Grotti Furia. I think it's a great car, but I have seen people, you know, trash talking the Furia, and I just don't really get it. Maybe because it's a little overpriced. This thing does go for, I believe, somewhere north of 1.5 million, but it is a vehicle that does have a trade price, so that is good, I guess. This thing has tons of customization. It's really fun to drive. It is all-wheel drive as well, which is very nice, of course. I got the titanium exhaust tips on it, obviously done in a race yellow with the full carbon roof on this thing. I think I went for pretty much every carbon option that I could. I think it's a really good-looking car. I'm super happy with it and how it turned out. So definitely a car I would recommend giving a shot for sure. Anyway, guys, that's it for the second floor of my garage. It's time to move on to the third and final floor and show you guys the cars up there. And starting off on the final floor, we have my favorite car in Grand Theft Auto Online, and it is, of course, the True Fade Adder. This car is special to me. I've had a True Fade Adder ever since I can remember in GTA. I've only ever had it one of 2 colors. One of them was this, and the other color, it's a complicated explanation, so I won't go into it, but it does look really good in a dark blue. There is one thing that I wish that the Adder had, and that is some sort of customization. This thing literally has nothing, and for a car that was at one point the most expensive vehicle in the entire game, coming in at $1 million, you would have hoped that it would have had at least something that you could do to it to make it your own, but unfortunately you got the color, you got the window tint, and you got the wheels. So that's kind of unfortunate, but nonetheless, the Adder is still my favorite car in Grand Theft Auto Online. I absolutely adore this vehicle. Super quick in a straight line, in my opinion. It's got a decent top speed as well, and it's, you know, it's a car that you actually have to learn how to drive, which I do appreciate a lot about the Adder, and I think that's what makes it one of my favorite vehicles in the entire game. So there you have it. That's it for the Adder. Time to move on to the next vehicle, and this is, of course, the Progen Emrys. This is probably 4th or 5th fastest supercar in the game right now. It's arguable that this thing is better than the Krieger, or that the Krieger is better than the Emrys. It really depends who you talk to. It depends on your driving style, and obviously it depends if you even race in the first place, because if you don't race, you probably don't even care in the first place. So the Progen Emrys, fantastic car, great free mode vehicle, great racing vehicle, has lots of customization actually, more than I would have expected honestly, but still it's not the most customizable car ever. No matter what, it's still going to look pretty much the same. But it does have a few bumper options and things like that, which is nice to have on a car like this. It is a very expensive car, coming in at, I think, $2.3 million-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it is going to run you a lot of money to buy this, but it is a very cool car. So definitely the Progen Emrys is one to go for. I've got the red stripe livery on it with the orange, and then I think I color matched this second color with the crew color. So pretty cool. I like the customization. I like the Progen Emrys. Definitely a cool car in my books. On to the next vehicle. This is the True Fade Thrax. This was on the podium 2 weeks ago, something like that, when you guys are seeing this. So, you know, the True Fade Thrax, it's, I believe, the newest True Fade vehicle to be added into Grand Theft Auto Online. It's by far the most aggressive looking True Fade vehicle in the entire game. I've also done the same thing that I did with the Torero XO, where I've managed to get the stock rims black on this thing because I think they just look so good. They don't look like any other rim in the game, so I had to make those black. I went for the olive green color scheme on this thing with the secondary as black, and then obviously all the carbon accents wherever I could do that. I really like how this car turned out. I'm super happy with this. you know, maybe this is actually my favorite customization that I've done recently instead of the Krieger. Something about that olive green, I don't know what it is, but it just looks really, really good to me. So that's the True Fate Thrax. This thing's really expensive, but it can be turned into like an absolute Batmobile. As you guys can see, this thing just, it looks absolutely insane. Definitely a very, very cool car. Definitely one that I would recommend for sure as well. On to the next vehicle, we have the True Fade Nero. So we got 3 True Fades on this level. That's kind of cool. The Nero is based off of the Bugatti Chiron in real life. What color is your Bugatti? I've gone for mine in, I believe, a racing blue or an ultra blue, and the interior is definitely an ultra blue. For the secondary color, I've gone for a midnight blue, I believe it is. So it looks really, really good. I've also gone for chrome rims on this thing. So if you know anything about chrome rims, you know they're really expensive. I figured that this was the car to do that on. I did a pretty basic customization of this thing. There is, of course, the Nero Custom that you can turn the Nero into to get a lot more customization options and more of a race car sort of build. I decided to go against that. I like the look of this thing when it's not a race car. With that being said, I do have the race car variant as well, but I think that the regular Nero is just a cleaner vehicle, so I went for that. I customized it to my liking. I think it looks really, really good. It's very quick. It sounds pretty good too. The handling could be a little better. It's somewhat like the Adder, but definitely well, superior because it's a lot newer. So the True Fade Nero, definitely a pretty cool car. On to the next one, we have the Pegassi Tempesta. Now, when I customized this originally, I was going for TJ Hunt's build on his Lamborghini Huracan that he had in real life, which he has now sold to Whistling Diesel. So now Whistling Diesel has this car, and I basically still have the same customization because Whistling Diesel hasn't really done anything to it. He hasn't destroyed it yet, which I'm actually shocked about, but I went for the same build. I think that it looks really, really good. I would change a few things about it now because I did this a very long time ago. I would change maybe the rims on it and maybe kind of modernize them. I feel like they don't quite match up with the rest of the car, but other than that, I am pretty happy with this build. I think this is sea green as well, or sea foam green, something like that. Looks really good. If you guys couldn't tell, I am kind of a fan of these weird kind of green colors. I think they look really good, and the Tempesta is no exception to that. So that's that. And then I believe, oh no, we got a couple cars left in this garage. We have the Osla XA21 next up. I believe this is done in some sort of silver, dark steel sort of color, and the interior is a diamond blue, and the wheels are stone silver. That's the color of the wheels that they're also on one of the vehicles downstairs. Stone silver for the wheels. I think that this is, oh man, this is another customization I'm super proud of. I don't know which one's my favorite. I think I like the Thrax the best still, but this might actually be better than the Krieger in my opinion. So the Ocelot XA21, one of the faster supercars in the game. I'd say this thing, it's definitely top 20, maybe top 15. I kind of doubt it, but maybe top 20. But definitely top 20 for sure. The Ocelot XA21 is fantastic. It's also probably the best sounding supercar in the entire game. This thing shares its sound file with the Ocelot Jugular. So if you guys know the Jugular or you know the Lampadaddy Komoda, this thing sounds pretty much just as good as those, but it's got a hint of Sterling GT as well, which is regarded as the best sounding car in the game. So the Ocelot XA21, it's got a very unique engine note. It's got very unique customization options as well. It's a fantastic car. It's all-wheel drive, looks super clean. I don't really have anything bad to say about this car at all. I love it with all my heart. It is a fantastic looking car. Definitely you guys are going to want to look into this thing if you guys are interested in supercars, especially ones that perform pretty well and also have good customization. So definitely check out the Ocelot XA21. And finally, for the last car in this garage, we have the Progen T20 done in cream. I just customized this thing relatively recently, so I've done it in cream. I got the carbon roof with the roof scoop on it. I have the True Fade concave rims, and the secondary is a matte black with the side skirts as well, obviously. I've got the titanium tips for the exhaust as well. The T20 is definitely one of the coolest supercars in Grand Theft Auto Online. I believe it was also the first supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online, actually the first car in the entire game that was equipped with the active rear spoiler, which is really, really cool. The T20 is based pretty heavily off of the McLaren F1 in real life, which is a fantastic car. Really, really cool. And I think that ROCKSTAR kind of knocked it out of the park with the T20. I mean, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with my customization on it as well. It's got the limo tint, obviously. And yeah, I think that the T20, it could have used a few more customization options, if I'm being honest. I would have liked to see some more stuff that we could do to this car, but you know what? For what it is, I believe this thing was released in 2015. It is a pretty solid vehicle. So there you have it, guys. That has been it for my Supercar Garage Tour in Grand Theft Auto Online at the end of 2022. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you learned something about any of these cars, a like is of course appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below what other garages you guys would like to see me tour, and I will be sure to get to those eventually, coming up here pretty soon. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.